Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of my bag collection. I decided to split my bag collection up between newer, more contemporary bags with vintage. So as a handbag collector and a person that worked in the industry for a really long time, I think vintage is like among the more interesting, and more fun, and definitely where you'll find a lot more of the unique pieces. These are pieces that have a story behind them. A lot of the time they could have possibly been designed by like the family or like one of the head designers themselves. I have pieces today. I think the oldest one is, I want to say I pegged it from the 1960s, but I'm not entirely sure about that. You'll see it soon. If you have any questions about the vintage handbag market or anything vintage wise you'd like me to address when it comes to designer luxury, then definitely leave me a comment down below and maybe that could be the topic for a future video. Do you have any super unique vintage finds? And if you follow me on Instagram, I want to see a picture of it, so you better send me a picture in DM. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you too like vintage designer. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time that I upload, and let's get started. So the first vintage bag we have is this Fendi Zucca shopping tote. This one for me is really special because it's a birth year bag. This one is from 1990. It's made from the Zucca canvas. This was a perfect work bag for me for the longest. I haven't carried it in a little bit, but what's really cool about this one, I actually got this on eBay, and I would definitely say that eBay is one of my absolute favorite resources for vintage designer shopping. First of all, I have an original dust bag. This is what the dust bag looks like. It came with its original tag from Neiman Marcus. Now I just have it like protected inside of this cardboard here, but hopefully you'll be able to see that. If you look closely, this is from, or taken into the Neiman Marcus store, wherever it was, in June of 1990. It actually has that written in on the date. It has the employee number, store number 16, whatever that is. The original price for this bag in June of 1990 was $250. I don't remember offhand how much I bought it for on eBay, but it has to be something close to that. It doesn't hurt that a lot of the time you're going to save a little bit, because this one sold in 1990 for $250. I believe I bought it on eBay for close to that price, if not that exact price, if I'm not mistaken. But I just think that it's something really unique and different that not everyone else is going to have. I do find these sometimes out there on the resale market, most notably eBay, and just this along with any of the others and anything else that, you know, pops into my feed that you guys just have to see will be linked down below. By the way, I bought this one on eBay sort of and I rationalized it because it ended up being a 30th birthday present to myself. This one you may have seen recently. This is my most recent vintage find. This is a Celine box leather bag. It really gives me the look of the Celine Triomphe style. This is so beautiful to me. So this one I was able to kind of pin it to the 80s. I'm not really able to pin it to an exact year, but this is a shoulder bag. It has the flap detail. It's a really beautiful shiny box leather with the horse and carriage detail here on the buckle. There is a snap button clasp right here in front, and then there's some sort of like equestrian, I don't know, detailing here on the strap. So this one came with its original dust bag, and there are 3 compartments on the inside, as well as like a pocket and then a zip pocket right here in back. So it opens up kind of like an accordion, and like I said, they make a really similar style, really similar style called the Triomphe nowadays, that is like in the, I don't know, $3,000 to $4,000 range. Like that's definitely outside of my personal budget for most handbags for the moment. I love that a lot of the time the newer styles recycle different looks and aesthetics from previous seasons. So this one is from the 80s. I think this was also an eBay find. There's a ton of great ones out. There's a ton of great ones that are similar to this out there. Some of them have like the really big horse and carriage motif, and I'll have some of those linked down below. Next, I have a monogram Gucci bag. So this one you guys may remember from a couple of years ago when I purchased it on probably eBay. This was re-released in as a part of the Marmont line with a different GG logo in what would have been, I want to say like 2018, but this is the original one. This is from the Gucci Accessories Collection. Yeah, so when it comes to dating these things, they made these in the 80s. I believe it started around 1979. The Gucci Accessories Collection ran through 1983, but they were also advertising it later on in magazines. I actually have a couple that I'm going to show you in a second. So the way I know that this one is a part of the specific Gucci Accessories collection is because it has this tag right here on the inside. So a little treat here is that I found this on eBay as well. This is a mini catalog booklet that would have come, I think, with the purchase of a Gucci accessory item. Yeah, so it says welcome to the Gucci accessory collection. This would have been like one of those booklets that come with a new purchase. So it was super cool that I was able to find this. So this has style numbers. You can see here on the back that it is from 1983 and made in Italy. These are all bags that you can find out there on eBay and a lot of the other vintage resources today. Found my bag right here on the second set of pages in the blue. You can see that it is right here. That is this bag. Yeah, I found a couple of like things like this, and I'll just show you in a cutaway what some of the bags look like. These are bags that you see out there on the resale market all the time. I have a couple of favorites. When we buy bags, usually we throw all of these, all the booklets away, but back in the day, they came with like a little catalog of all of its other companions to part of the collection, so that's super cool. I also have a small collection of a couple of old magazines. This is a Vogue from October 1987. By the way, I think these also make great gifts if you are, you know, shopping for someone who's having a big birthday. This is October 1987, and in here I found a Gucci ad showing a lot of other monogram pieces. Now this is not marked as a part of the accessory line, so this would have not been the accessories collection, but as you can see, they have a couple of styles in here that are very, very similar. Pardon this on the other side. I don't want to get this video flagged. This is a Vogue, and this is an ad for Iptives, and that is a nipple. Okay, I'm gonna try and blur that out with maybe my hand, but so awkward. You'll notice that most of the advertisements that they had back in these days really were not of the handbags. So nowadays you'll see handbags in like all of the magazine ads. Now that has to do a lot with the history of brands, and you know, I have to say, if you are a fashion girl, if you love vintage, if you love designer, whether you like vintage or not, this is an absolute must-read book. I read this about probably 6 or 7 years ago. This is Deluxe by Dana Thomas. This is a history of all of the fashion brands, and handbags being like the it thing to purchase really hadn't happened yet by the time we got to the 80s. They were making handbags, but the notable things that they were really pushing were more so the ready-to-wear and maybe sometimes shoes in certain other cases. Now, the bag being the thing that the fashion houses really prioritize happened a little bit later, so that's why it is kind of rare to see the bags featured prominently in a lot of the magazine ads. Like, you'll find ads, but they'll be for like clothing or, you know, perfume, fragrances, cosmetics, and a couple of other things. I love me a big bag. This is a Caviar Chanel shopper tote. This one is from 1994. It's all black leather with the plated gold hardware. It has the woven chain detail here, but then a long leather strap. I love the size of this bag. This one is great for travel, and it has the CC stitched right here in front, and also this big, huge ball right here on the zipper pull. It's actually really weighty, and you have to like be careful. I've smacked myself in the face with this before. Like, this thing is no joke. So this bag is in absolutely amazing condition considering the age. It's from 1994, so that makes it 28 or so. The corners on it are absolutely beautiful. It's actually really lightweight considering the size. Like, this is a bag that can definitely take a beating, but for some reason it hasn't. It's lined in black satin. It came with the original card. It's a 3 series. I use it today as a travel bag, or maybe a work bag if I have to carry my laptop or anything like that. But it's still very narrow, so that your things don't get lost inside of here. It's really big and wide, but narrow enough to not feel like you're carrying a massive bag, which is something that I absolutely love about it. Next up, I have this white one, but this is a bag that we actually had at my old job. It was just sitting on the shelves for years, and I just fell in love with, but personally felt that it was too small for me. I just felt like someone needed to buy it, basically. And then the day came when someone did buy it, and I was sad. Years later, I'm scrolling through the reel and it popped up right here. So this is a white box leather. It's like a really simple, there's not a whole lot of bells and frills to it. I believe it's from the 80s. When I compare it to other bags from that era, it has like some of the similar markings to bags from the mid 80s or so. It's very small. It's lined in what feels like a suede. It has two pockets here on the inside. Obviously this was before they were carrying phones, but it does fit a phone perfectly. It has a really beautiful gold snake chain. It's white and it has just very minor staining here on the front. And I have to tell you, I love a big bag. This is not a big bag in the slightest. Once my phone goes in, there's room for like a lip gloss and not much else. So pretty much, I don't carry this a lot. This is pretty much my designated like wedding or like formal event bag. It's absolutely perfect for that. But otherwise, I just really do find it too small for me to wear in my own personal life. My style when it comes to like really formal stuff where I'm wearing like actual gowns, I don't want a logo, I don't want a CC, I don't want an LV, I don't want a YSL. I just want something like very simple. So like the focal point becomes the dress and me generally. And I feel like, at least for me, logos sometimes can take away from that. So something like this is perfect. They're relatively inexpensive, and again, just the quality is absolutely unmatched. So if you guys have been with me and my channel for a while, then this one is no stranger to you. This is my very first birth year bag. This is the Louis Vuitton St. Cloud GM and the monogram with vachetta. So Louis Vuitton is a lot easier to get the dates off of them because they have date codes printed inside from, I want to say the earlier ones are 1986 and beyond. They did stop doing it in 2021. So from about 1986 to 2021, there is at least a marker of at least like what month or month and year and what factory the item was made from. I don't have to go into too much detail because this is like a mainstay for my wardrobe. A lot of you guys probably found me initially from the cleaning of this bag and another follow-up video where I took off the strap. The original strap of this bag was much shorter. I actually have another December 1990 St. Cloud GM in green epi leather with its original strap, and then you'll be able to see like how much shorter it is. So I removed this strap in order to replace it with a contemporary one from the store. So this one I bought in what would have been like 2017 maybe. Purchased specifically for this bag for me to wear it like longer on my shoulder or as a crossbody. But I cannot recommend this bag enough. It comes in 3 sizes. I have the largest one, so this is the biggest size. For me it's tiny, of course, but it's great because it is really practical everyday size. It comes in epi leather in a variety of different colors, so if you don't necessarily want the monogram, you want something a little bit more subtle, then this one is perfect. I really like it in the brown color, and I have to stop myself from buying it, but just know I want one. It also comes in black. But there is a pocket here in back. That's where you can put your phone, and there's tons of space inside of here. Very useful and very subtle if you want to forego the monogram. This is one of my favorite bags of all time. I cannot recommend them enough. They're out there. I would say definitely look for them on eBay, and I have seen a couple of cool ones pop up on Fashion File. Now, finding the dates on Gucci bags is not an exact science. I will leave a link down below to a really helpful forum where I found a lot of really useful information with photos. It is really old. I think the first like pages of it were from 2011. So I did kind of just do a really deep comb through of that for a while, and it was really fun and interesting to see all the different bags. But from that, I was able to kind of ascertain that this black suede Gucci was from the 1970s. So this one is lizard here on the flap. It has this really unique GG clasp. You don't see a lot of these out there, and you know, initially I was thinking that it was from the 80s, but now just based on like just the geometrics of the logo here. I'm thinking now that it's probably from a little bit earlier than that, 70s, possibly early 80s. They did so many different iterations of their logo that it kind of does like put a time and a place a little bit on when it possibly might have been designed. I purchased this pretty much knowing it was going to be a project. There's some dryness here on the side, on the lizard right here on the flap. It's missing a strap, but what I really like about it is that it has this really nice back pocket here. I have to say, considering the age on it, the suede is in absolutely beautiful condition. It feels so soft to the touch. There's no watermarks. There's like nothing wrong with it at all. It just feels so beautiful and like velvety almost. The clasp just slides down here, and then you just open the flap. There is a place to add a strap here. These are snaps that come off. And you're supposed to, and I imagine there's some sort of strap that was supposed to come with this. But once again, looking at some of the interior stamping, it is very similar to other items from the late 70s to early 80s. This is a black suede clutch, right? Like, I would be so mad at myself if the first watermark on it actually came from me, like knowing that this bag is 40-something years old. So no, I've never worn it. It's probably just for the collection. I guess I have two favorites that are super incredibly special to me. The first one I've had in my collection for a really, really long time. That is this. It's just, every time I look at it, my heart swells. This is a burgundy alligator flap clutch. This one is definitely from the 80s. It has gold and silver mixed metal hardware. The clasp right here just pushes up. There's a place to add a strap, and it came with its original strap as well. It's beautiful supple leather here on the inside. It's really nice and shiny. The interior has no stains or anything like that. It even came with, you know, an extra strap to put on, and the strap has a really good length to it. There's a pocket here and back, and I don't know, I just love the size. I just think that it's so incredibly classic and different. And I think over the years of my own personal use, I have gotten some cracking that's exposing a little bit of the boning right here. That is probably repairable, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's not anything that I have to really worry about. This is the crown jewel of my collection. I don't need a Birkin. I don't need a Kelly. I don't need a Chanel Classic. Been there, done that, tried it. Gems like this are why vintage is always going to be more fun and more enjoyable for me than necessarily shopping on the brand new market or buying things that like everyone else out there has. Like, nothing to me can top this bag. I've tried to find more of these and there's just none out there. So it's something that's super unique. It's super singular to me and my collection and my style and my taste. And I'm just so happy I found it, right? Just wow. Wow is the word for this. Just nothing will top this at all. So I saved this one for last because upon further research, it ended up being that this is the oldest bag in my wardrobe. So initially I thought this was like maybe from the early 80s, maybe 70s. It is entirely possible that this bag is from the 1960s. Now, again, I can't entirely confirm that, but what's special about this is that, first of all, everything. It also came with its original box. The original box here, it has the Gucci, this is Firenze, and what else does it say in here? Roma, Milano. So these are all the places where you could purchase Gucci at the time. So maybe that could actually help me in my determination of approximately how old. Like, when did the first Gucci items make it to Chicago? Is something I guess we're gonna go Google after this video is over. Now that we're done gushing about the box, now we're gonna actually get to the bag itself. There was a time where I was gonna sell this, and I'm so incredibly glad that I didn't. Like, what was I thinking? So this is another one, a glazed box leather. I think that I just really like glazed box leather. This one has lizard trim right in here, and a turn lock. Now the turn lock has, it looks like it has mixed metals, but this round piece here might be tarnishing, because this piece out here is gold, and I think that this is supposed to have been gold. There's lizard here along the tab, and then it opens up with a flap. Also comes with a strap and has loops here to put the strap through, just similar to the alligator one you saw a second ago. Based on some of the characteristics of this on the inside. Like this one comes with the zipper pull here with the like a knight and crest. Now later on in the early 2000s, Gucci ended up reusing or re-releasing more items with the crest and the coat of arms a lot more prominently, but that came from this era. So I thought this was 80s. When I bought it, I was like, it very much gave me like Dominique Devereaux from Dynasty, and it's very potentially a lot older than this. Again, I'm gonna leave a link to that forum, that really old forum where I got some of my research. That kind of like sent me in the direction. So this is the original dust bag as well that it came with, and some of the other bags that she was dating to the early 70s and late 60s also had this similar packaging. It can be hard to really have a sense of when, like what specific era your pieces came from, but I guess it's not impossible and you can kind of have like a rough idea. So now of course, like we know, vintage is definitely not going to be for everyone. They tend to be in not as great as condition because of their age and possible storage, but everything has a story. I find that it's a lot more unique and the price points are a lot lower. Nowadays, something like this, setting aside that it has lizard skin right here on the bottom, would probably run for but this I think I got on the real and it was maybe around like 500 or so. Definitely if you are looking for vintage, my favorite go-to, number one, 10 out of 10 is eBay. eBay is the spot that has like the most, and it's stuff that comes in from all over the world. Now, what I was doing research on this, I tried to find more information about it. Another really important thing to use is Google Lens. Take a photo of your item with Google Lens and it will go through all of Google image search to find anything similar, and I was able to find my exact bag being sold from a Japanese seller from years ago. Unfortunately, I got really excited thinking that, oh, there was another one out there. No, it's my exact same bag. Someone bought it from Japan somewhere. It ended up on the real. It now has its forever home here on my lovely bag shelf. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoy my vintage collection. I'm really glad that I split this up because otherwise my video with my entire collection would have taken absolutely forever to watch. I will leave that video linked down below. Definitely go check that out if you haven't already. But I feel like the vintage is a thing unto itself. The vintage girls need their own moment. So comment down below if you have any stunning, dazzling gems in your collection, how you feel about vintage, if you have a favorite era or favorite designer. Personally, as you can tell, I have, what, 5 of them? Mine is obviously Gucci. But let me know what yours are in the comments down below. With that, please let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see from me regarding the resale market and what it's like actually working in it. Be sure to check out these and more on my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!